How's it? Well, welcome back. So it is very early in the morning right now. I've changed up my sleep routine where instead of staying up late to have my personal free time after the family goes to sleep, instead I've been sleeping really early, and I'm talking like 8:30 at night, so I can get up early and have my personal free time then, which is really cool. I'm enjoying it a lot. But then if I want to do something like make a video like I'm doing right now, I gotta talk really quietly, even though the chickens obviously don't care about this shit. They're making noise already. It's 4:30 in the morning, but hey, whatever. So I have a lucid dreaming related comment to go ahead and shoot a quick response to. So at least for the time being, I'll be getting off of my trend of only doing Battlefield 6 shit for the time being. However, the person that left this comment, he does start off by making a statement about Battlefield and Call of Duty. So we'll get to squeeze a little bit of that in there. But this comment comes in from Baka Blitz with 3 Z's on YouTube. And you should check out his YouTube page. He makes some pretty dope hip-hop style beats and shit. But his question is essentially getting at how to detect or tell if you're waking up out of REM when you get up in the middle of the night, so that you know if it's a good opportunity for you to try and fall back asleep, to try and have a wild or a wake initiated lucid dream. Before getting to that though, the whole COD and Battlefield thing first, and he writes, COD is finally getting the push they need to get off their ass and make a better game. And that is like the most truest statement ever. Like, Battlefield 6 really is fixing Call of Duty. Well, I mean, at least Black Ops 7. We'll see if they actually stick to this, but because of all the pressure that Battlefield 6 is putting on COD, it finally got them to start listening to their community and make a lot of positive changes, stuff that the community has been shouting for years. For example, taking out skill-based matchmaking and bringing back non-disbanding lobbies. And that has been my biggest gripe with these newer Call of Duties. Since I've been back to playing it, you know, I played in the really early days, and then I started playing again back in like 2022. And I couldn't believe it. I was like playing the game thinking like, man, why do I keep changing lobbies after every game? Like, what's up with that? That is like a core fundamental part of first-person shooters, games in general, right? Because then you can start to build rivalries and friendships with the people that are staying in the lobby. So I was really tripped out when they took that out. I didn't know why they did. You know, as I started paying attention more, I figured out why they did that towards the end, right? For this whole skill-based matchmaking thing, so they can, you know, change the people you're playing against every game to try and keep you on the game longer, which overall sucks. But there is one good aspect of it, and my son was just bringing this up last night as he was playing Battlefield, right? He was kind of getting his ass kicked, and he was commenting how, like, you know, with Call of Duty, if you have a bunch of bad games in a row, what they'll do is they'll just feed you a really easy lobby with guys that your skill level's way above, so you can dominate that lobby, feel good about yourself, and stay on the game longer. But anyway, rant aside, I'll try to timestamp this so people who don't care about Call of Duty can just skip all this shit. Let's get on to the main topic of the video. And so he writes, when you get back to making your usual content, I have an idea for a video. For some context, I am very good at waking up without an alarm, as I naturally struggle with sleep problems like insomnia, and I am a very light sleeper. So something that can help there that isn't directly related to the main question in your comment is sleep with earplugs. You know, that to me has been like the single biggest positive change to my sleeping practice, maybe ever. Like, I've always been a light sleeper, and I've always wanted to sleep with earplugs, but I was too paranoid to do that. You know, luckily my wife now, she doesn't, so she can wake me up if I need to be woken up. But I was too paranoid that, like, if something happened, a bad guy runs in the house, I won't be able to hear it. But even if you are by yourself, it's still totally doable with earplugs. Just don't put them in super deep, so, you know, it doesn't totally make you deaf. It just kind of muffles the sound a little bit. And I find that even making it just a little bit quieter, right, so you can still kind of hear things, makes a big difference. It can really help me sleep a lot deeper and longer and not wake up as much. All right, but one thing I've been trying to get down as of late is understanding when I wake up in REM. I know some of the basic tells from experience. If I wake up and sense that I just woke up from the last dream I had, there's a pretty good chance that I was in REM. And another tell is when I wake up and my thoughts are just weird and kind of nonsensical. And for me, like, even when I'm not lucid, just kind of built off of my dream recall muscle memory, is as I'm following along with what's going on in the dream, for the most part, I can tell that if I'm waking up directly out of that dream, or if, you know, I was coming into another sleep cycle or not. But another thing to point out here too is if you've been sleeping decently long, like, you know, 4 hours or more than likely you are waking up out of REM. Like, it's almost verge on guaranteed. If you're hitting like the 7-8 hour mark of sleep, you are basically definitely waking up out of REM. So even if, you know, maybe you think you're waking up in a different sleep stage, it's still probably, you know, worth trying falling back asleep and trying to hopefully enter back into REM, because that's really like the main thing you're going for, right? Is when you're trying to have a wild and you're trying to fall back asleep after waking, you're trying to fall back asleep and hit REM directly, right? But for the most part, it's kind of worth it, you know, no matter what, as long as you're past 4 hours, maybe a little bit. But if you're at like the 6 hour plus mark, I would just give it a shot anyway. But nonetheless, I do have, I'm taking a really long time to get to it, but I do have the perfect solution for your question. We'll get there slowly. Okay, but I feel that these tales are pretty inconsistent and really are not enough for me to either dedicate that time to doing a wild when I'm not actually in REM, therefore wasting time, or decide I'm not in REM and fall asleep normally when I might have actually been in REM, which wastes a whole opportunity for practice. You have a lot of experience with REM sleep stages, hypnagogy, etc. I'm curious if there are some more concrete or at least some additional methods of detecting if I'm in REM upon awakening. And from what I could tell, this might be a video you have not done yet, etc. So that's the main gist of the question. Okay, so after this whole 6 minute, almost 7 minute ramble, here's the answer. And I'm like 99.9% sure you're a man, you're a male, right? And so this technique will really only work good for men. But anytime you're in REM, you're going to be erect, right? You'll have a hard on. So simply when you wake up, check your pants. If you got a hard on, you were in REM, you can be sure of it, and then you can go ahead and try to fall back asleep quickly, enter back into REM, and have yourself a wild. So that is it. Thanks for the comment, and until the next video, keep your lucid dreaming practice legit.